Hi, we're here on step 5 of the instructions for becoming a VITA volunteer. And this is my main suggestion to you. Take the exams on paper before going and taking them online. Um, you get um, 2 shots at the exam and they're makeup. It's like one exam and then a makeup exam. So it's not like you take the same exam over and over. So you want to be sure and pass it. So I would suggest, and you don't want to get stressed out, but it's not timed, so the online test isn't timed or anything, but I don't think I'd want to risk having my computer crash or something. So what I would do is I would take the exam on paper and make sure I've looked up all the answers, make sure I know everything, got every answer just perfect, and then go fill in the answers online. So that's where the booklet comes in. There's a publication, 6744, and again, there's copies of it at irs.gov. Just Google Hub 6744, it'll come up. There's share drive copies that you can look at the PDF. I actually have paper versions of it. I actually have this book in my office, so maybe you've got one. Maybe you came to a class or meeting and I gave you one. So publication 6744 is the actual test. It's the actual tests that you're going to take online, but it's just in a booklet. So let's go look at that booklet. All right, here it is, 6744 test retest. So it starts out with a table of contents and it lists all the things for you to take. Basically, everyone has to take standards of conduct. If you want to talk to people, you have to take intake interview. If you're going to do actual tax returns for people, you either take basic or advanced. You wouldn't take both. If you take advanced, you already have basic covered, so you don't have to take both. Just take advanced if you want to do everything else. And there are some other tests. I would say the one that we do, the only other one, because none of the rest of us pass the military test. You have to have somebody who can review your tax return, right? So somebody else has to have taken that test. So since nobody else will have taken any of these others, the only other tests people in our group take are this foreign student test. So you may want to take that one. We get a lot of foreign students that need help. All right. So as you look through this book, you'll see, oh, that's really big. I don't think I want it quite that big, but um as you well, as you go through the book, you will see there's different tests and they tell you about it. Anyway, tell you what you can do with it. There are answer sheets. To be honest with you, I take it in my paper booklet, so I open it to the page and it's got the question. And honestly, I circle the right answer. I don't really use the answer sheets, but you could. So you could just write your answers there. So there's answer sheets. And then a retest. So you can't, again, you get a second shot. If you don't pass it the first time, you do get a second shot. So here's your retest. So anyway, so here it is on page 14. Starts the volunteer standards of conduct test. So everybody who volunteers has to take this. And you can see it's pretty easy. Prior to working, you have to pass the conduct test, sign and date, pass advance. No, of course, nobody has to pass advanced law. Right, so it's a pretty simple. Can you be removed or barred for violating? What if they offer you $20? So you got 10 little short questions. And again, you can look up the answers if you aren't sure if it's okay to be bribed. Um, then look it up. All right, so you're allowed to look up. So I would answer these all here and then go online and take the test online. And then after you take that one, there's the intake interview. Okay, skipping on down. This is the retest. So be sure you don't take the retest by accident. So this up here, this is the retest. So this is retest. See how it says retest? This one up here is the test, conduct test. So test is the one you take if you failed it. Never had anyone fail standard conduct, but if you did, you'd take the retest. All right. Then you might go on and take the intake interview test. That's if you're going to greet people, you have to take the volunteer standards of conduct. Then if you're going to also maybe help them fill out the form, right? Explain to them, here's this form, let me help you figure it out. Oh, you have to have a date when you're all of the above, things like that. So you have to kind of be able to help people and understand. Then here's the retest. So if you're not retesting, don't take the retest. Be sure you take the test. So I just took this test and I circled the answers as I went on the piece of paper. Then after this is, you're not a site coordinator. That's for me. I did pass. It's not too hard. Basic. Okay, so basic. If you're going to do tax returns and use TaxSlayer Pro and fill out tax returns, basic is for just regular tax returns, not anything that's retirement related, not self-employment related. So here it is. It gives you little scenarios. So here's a scenario. Bradley, 14, blah, blah. What is most advantageous filing status for Bradley? Can claim a higher standard deduction because he's blind. Things like that. So they give you scenarios. Then at some point, you're going to get to the scenarios that you have to go to TaxSlayer Pro. Okay, here you go. See, here's this scenario. Tells you using the software. Complete the tax. So now this is where in the last video we learned how to use TaxSlayer Pro training area. So you would go to that training area and you would use this information and fill it out, the tax return, and then they ask you questions. See, here's all this form. Here's their W-2. Here's a 1099-R. Here's dividend. They load you up with everything. Here's university tuition. Then they ask you questions. Their standard deduction is this much. Their education expense is this much, right? So you would look at that tax return and answer these questions. That's basic. And so you go through, I think there's maybe 4 of those scenarios where you do TaxSlayer Pro. If you want to try for advanced, you don't have to take basic. Once you pass advanced, okay, this is advanced. Okay, so once you've passed advanced, you automatically have passed basic. So you only take one or the other. All right, so here's advanced scenarios. Here you go. Okay, so here's the advanced. And same idea. They give you scenarios. Here's some people. Here's the deal. Head of household, earned income tax credits, things like that. Asking you questions. So that's that. And then further down is the foreign students exam. So basically, I would sit down with the book and the training materials, like publication 4012 is very helpful. It has all kind of decision trees and things like that. I find publication 4012 is most helpful for passing these exams. But again, all the exams, I've linked their study materials here, right? So standards of conduct, use 4961. Intake interview, use 5101. Basic and advanced, use 4012 and 17. All right. So take them on paper. That's my suggestion. You could actually skip this. You could just go straight to the online and take them, but I definitely suggest sit down with your study materials and the test booklet and answer all the questions because it's the exact same test that's online. But this way you can sit down, take it at your leisure, look everything up, make double sure you're positive the answer's right. Then when you go to take the online, you just are going to fill in the answers. You don't have to really think about the questions anymore. Right, so that's it for this video. Next, I'm going to show you where to go and how to actually take the online exams.